can't say her name. No magic over the brain to contain you, just mad. Cause her vibes are so pretty to adjust. You are one to never trust. Your voice feels dead, dry roses, such a pity. You're so silly. You're so silly.
Hello, beautiful stars, earth, air, fire, and water. So I decided just to I decided to go on ahead and let it cool down just a little bit and to come out here and go on ahead and finish up on these. Go on ahead and get started with Virgo. Beautiful Virgo. And so, yeah, I went to the store last night and I had got me avocados from the store, just a regular grocery store, and they actually had the leche, one of those leche cakes that I like to get from the Mexican store, and they also had some avocados that I also usually get from the Mexican store, but they don't stay open late at night, so it's like a little small store. So I had actually went in there and got saw the little leche cake, got all excited and got it, and got me a couple of avocados and got them home. The avocados they wasn't good. I don't know, they just didn't taste good. They had like a bitter taste to them, so I didn't even bother eating them. And the cake was not good because it wasn't authentic, you know what I'm saying? It looked like they just made a cake and just threw a little bit of canned milk, not even on it. They just probably poured some down in the bottom and then just put the cake on top of that and then put a little whipped cream and a little strawberry. It looked pretty, but it didn't taste good. Needless to say, a lot of things when it comes to Virgos love authentic things. They like they like things that look good. Like that cake, it looked good. You know what I'm saying? It looked absolutely delicious, but sometimes think everything look good ain't good. You know what I'm saying? Just like when we tend to get to the point where we like to focus on specific things, because we will invest. All of us do, but Virgo will invest, and when they say they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. But all ideas aren't good ideas. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about a Virgo. They'll try once, but then once it's not producing the way it needs to be producing, or if it's not pretty much looking the way it's supposed to be looking, or performing the way it's supposed to be performing, versus like it might have did something yesterday, but then majority of the other days it didn't particularly pan out. Then they have to take a step back and then they look at things and then they be like, no, I don't think so. Needless to say, I won't be going, I'm not a Virgo, but I will be going back to that store, get that darn cake. I'm just using that just to pretty much let you know what it is. Like, I know some Virgos, they're very picky about certain things. I'm raising a Virgo. Well, raised a Virgo son, you know what I'm saying? He's still young, but he's grown, pretty much. He still gets advice from mother, but most of the time he likes to experience things on his own and see what it is, You have to just let, your kids be, regardless, especially when they get, a certain age. You have to let them, see, how the world is and how things are, and let them, experience things for themselves. One thing about my son, I was laughing earlier when I was thinking about it. Virgos can pick little things apart. Like he looks at different, he studies, body parts and stuff like that. So, needless to say, I'm not going to be all graphic about the things that he studies, but let's just say, for instance, if you have like a certain way your hands are, you know what I'm saying? If your hands are, not well groomed, or if they just happen to be dirty or chipped up or a certain type of way, he can be he can get to the point where he'll cringe, you know what I'm saying? And it might not necessarily be the hands for him, but I do know he has a phobia of feet. He cannot stand freaking feet. He hates them. I was wondering about Nikola Tesla. I wonder, I have to go back and look on his and see what his birthday is, because I know he had a phobia when it came to hair. You know what I'm saying? Hair. That sounds like a Virgo type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And then I know another person, they had a phobia of, a couple of things or whatever. Like I've spent time with people and stuff, and I've actually been, like at a barbershop before, and actually heard, there was like 3 Virgos that I knew. And at the time, I didn't know they were Virgos, but then come to find out they are Virgos. And they actually had a barbershop. And I used to sit back, I'd take my son there. He's a Virgo. I would take my son there, he'd get his hair cut. This is when he was, younger and little. And I would just sit there and just listen, to all the things that they would be saying or whatever. And I was like, Jesus Christ, they literally like pick things apart, But now that I know, the scope of who they are, and what their makeup is, I see why. Because a Virgo will sit there and analyze every little thing and critique everything. And then I know I used to be sitting there like, Jesus Christ, I can only imagine what they go say when I leave out of here, But yeah, Virgo is something else. They're go-getters. They tend to, not play around when it comes to their dollar bills either, just as well as a Capricorn. But it is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into, this is 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Deacon Capricorn, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this little abundance spread and see, not spread, but I'm just pulling cards, whatever comes out, we just usually take it unless it's just too many. But 1st Deacon Virgo. Let me turn this on. Maybe be a little quieter, So, first, I done pretty much shuffled. Nothing but the highest, like God Almighty, archangels, ancestors. Evil is never welcome here. Okay, so 1st Deacon Virgo. 1st Deacon Virgo. Okay. Whew. Quiet retreat. All right, it says it's time to disconnect from the outer world so that you can discern and process, your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. Create this quiet time for yourself, and you'll have more, clarity about what to do next. So maybe perhaps, you might want to, disconnect, from everything that's been going on in your outer life. Maybe it's time for a vacation. I'm hearing something about a vacation. It's also saying something about so you can discern and process your true thoughts. Maybe perhaps you might have got yourself into something. Intoxicated. I'm hearing intoxicated. Maybe you got intoxicated, or someone seemed like they were intoxicating, because it's saying you have to disconnect from the outer world. So that's telling me that maybe perhaps you might have a bunch of people in your ear on something you need to discern from and process, so you can process your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. So you need to disconnect from the outer world so you can process your true feelings and process your true thoughts from your inner world. So that means there's somebody in your life, in your inner world, and you need to disconnect from the outer world so you can process what the hell is going on inside of your life. They're telling you to create this quiet time for yourself, and you'll have more clarity about what to do next. So whatever it is, what's going on in your inner life, what's there. Like I said, I heard something about intoxicating. I heard intoxicated. Maybe you got yourself into something that you might not think that needs to be in your inner life anymore, perhaps. misleading. I'm hearing misleading. Be misled. So once you disconnect from the outer world, go within, close all doors, disconnect from everything, then you'll be able to find out what it is that you need to know about your inner world, your inner circle, whatever it is, and you'll know what to do next. And they want you to create this quiet time for yourself so you'll know exactly what it is that you need to do. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump to the second deacon. And before I get off of this, remember, we do the first, second, and third, and then we pull one for all, and then we put them all together. All right, so we're going to the second deacon. Second deacon, Virgo. What is it that the second deacon Virgo needs to know? Second deacon Virgo, second deacon Virgo. Okay, got a flipper. Okay. Successful funding. Alright, it says your idea is divinely guided and supported by the same, infinite wisdom of God that gave you the idea. Alright, it says do not allow money concerns to prevent you from turning it into a reality. Crowdfunding, partnership, and other investments are available to help you. So there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be coming through to be able to help you, whether that be any kind of crowdfunding, any kind of partnership. It says your ideas are divinely guided. So whatever it is that you're working on, they are supported by the Most High. They are divinely guided. All right. And it says, it is supported by the same infinite wisdom of God that gave you the idea. So God gave you this idea. So whatever it is that you're working on and anything that you're trying to put together or whatever the case may be, you know what it is. I do not, but I'm just here to help. You shouldn't even have any kind of concerns about it. No money concerns, nothing to prevent you from, turning it into a reality. Just move forward with whatever it is that you need to do. And as you move forward with these things that you think you might need will just magically appear because it is divinely guided. And it's also saying that crowdfunding, partnerships, and other investments are available to help you. So whatever it is that's going to be coming through for you as far as your creativity and whatever it is that you're working on, it is divinely guided. You have no worries. Don't even worry about money concerns. This is basically a message to tell you for the second deacon that whatever it is that you're working on, that this is your confirmation. Okay? This is to confirm that what it is you're working on, go on ahead and move forward with it. Oh, child's getting hoards. I'm going to try the window a little bit. Then if not, then I'll be rolling up the window. I think I'm going to roll the window. I'm not feeling this heat at all. It's too damn hot. Hold on. So I only got one more deacon left anyway. I'll just have to turn some shit up for you guys so you'll be able to hear me. I'm sure you can hear me. I noticed one of those videos I did, the music. I don't even know how that music got so loud. I hate that, but that won't be happening again. I'll be double, triple checking my settings and stuff. And the last video I just uploaded, honey, it took forever. It took absolutely forever, and I was getting rid of stuff, cleaning stuff, and then finally I stuck it in the freezer. Stuck my phone in the freezer. Then guess what? It uploaded. Alright. Nothing but the ice like God Almighty, archangels, ancestors, evils, never welcome here. Third deacon. The third deacon, Virgo. What is it that they need to know? Third deacon, Virgo. Here we go. Okay, it says, Dear one, There's no need to suffer or sacrifice. Hold the intentions of undoing any vows of poverty or self-denial that you may have made. Okay, it says consciously or unconsciously. You might have made some type of vows of poverty. In your life, you speaking negativity and some type of death over your life as far as your you know, financial flow. So don't do that. Do what you like, but I'm just here to tell you that don't work. So you might have done it consciously or unconsciously. You might have put some type of vows, over your life. It says, as you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone for everyone involved in all directions of time. So if you have been sitting down and doing some type of vows, it says there's no need to suffer or sacrifice. It says hold the intention of undoing any vows of poverty, of self-denial that you may have made, consciously or unconsciously. It's in any lifetime. So if you have done this in the past lifetime, and just be doing this on and off or whatever, and if you just do some type of affirmations of undoing these things, they will vanish. They will vanish, from any parts of your life. You know what I'm saying? Because it says in any lifetime, as you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone for everyone involved in all directions of time. So in all directions of time, all this stuff will be undone. So if there was anybody around you that made you feel like this, to the point where you have put some type of vows of poverty on yourself, all that stuff will be undone. You just have to know that whatever it is that you want to see come to the forefront, you need to, undo these things so you can heal from, any and everything that you have put upon yourself. These things don't help. When you speak negativity over your life, they don't never help. I had to learn this stuff myself. And it's hard sometimes. Sometimes when you get to speaking, you don't even realize what you're saying to yourself until it's just said and done. And then it's like, damn, why did I do that? Because there is no need to suffer or sacrifice, because you got to know this world is intimate, and it is. Don't think you got to suffer or sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, because you think you don't have enough. You got to know you got enough. And when you feel like that and know you got enough, then you'll see how everything will just flow to you effortlessly. And it does, We all have to work, on these things. And we all have to work sometimes until we're flow, basically pushed into the next level where things get a little bit more easier. And as time goes, it gets easier. So, sever vows of poverty, meaning cut the vows of poverty away from your life. Just snip, snip, cut, cut. Cut that mess away. Doesn't help anybody today. Okay. Alright, and so I'm going to pull a card for all three, first, second, and third Deacon. And then we're going to put them all together right quick. Okay? Little guys like Dynamite, Archangel, and Sisters, E4. There's never work from here. Okay. Power of prayer. Alright, it says, give this situation to God for uplifting and healing. And be open to miracles. Alright, it says, heaven's unlimited resources, love, and answers are awaiting your prayers. Alright, it says, be sure to act upon the divine guidance God gives to you in response to your prayers. So whatever it is that you all are going through, whether it be you know, that you have to go through this quiet retreat because you have to get, you know, quiet down your outer world, you know what I'm saying, to be able to process and discern your true and honest feelings about your inner world, okay? You know, be sure to use the power of prayer when it comes to that as well. And also, do know whatever it is, you know, that you're trying to invest or create or whatever the case may be. Know that the power of prayer is going to also help you with that. Just give it all to God. You know what I'm saying? Because you will be successful at whatever it is that you're, you know, creating or wanting to invest with, or whoever you want to invest with, or whatever the case may be. If you think you need to get something out of your life, then get it out of your life. In order for you to be able to get your creative flow even going. You know, give the situation to God for uplifting and healing. And be open to miracles, because miracles happen all the time. You know, sometimes, you know, we all make mistakes, and if you made a mistake on anything, just know, you know, things, you know, if you made a mistake on anything, just know things can be healed. And several vows of poverty. Don't be sitting around just being like, "Whoa, it's me," and da 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 da. You are, you know, you're limitless because you have God behind you. You don't have to suffer or sacrifice because God is here, and give it to Him. So be sure, first, second, and third, you know, go on your quiet retreat so you can be able to discern what it is that you need to discern, so you can process things a little bit more clearly and be able to process your feelings and your true, you know, thoughts of your inner world. You know, you might, if you want to change something, change it. You know what's best for you. Know what needs to be around you, and you know what does not, and you know what's best for you, and you know what's not. It's just that simple. If you have to sit, if you really, this is what I think about certain things. If I have to go to a quiet spot and think about things to clear my head on and decide if something needs to be in my life or not, then you know possibly it might not need to be there. You know what I'm saying? If it's something that you're constantly thinking about, it might not need to be there. Just do your quiet retreats. You know, cut anything away from you that's causing you to be in poverty, or if you feel like you're in poverty because of certain things, so you can have successful funding as well. And like I said, with the power of prayer, you can't go wrong at all. One thing I know about you Virgos, anything that's not meant to be in your life, you're not going to keep it there. You know, you find fun in a lot of situations and places and things, and then when it comes down to the real nitty gritty and to get serious with certain things, then you also know that, you know, you're going to nip them in the bud, you know. And if it's somebody around you that's making you feel like you have poverty around you, sever those ties. Snip it. Pray over it, snip it. So a lot of you guys, you know, maybe you will find, you know, something in all these messages. The quiet retreat, sever, you know, sever the vows of poverty, you know, successful funding, and the power of prayer. hearing like interference. Yeah, I'm hearing there was a lot of interference. You know, on a lot of mess. A lot of interference on a lot of mess, and there's I'm hearing interference, I'm hearing lies, but those are the negative things, and those are the things that you're gonna have to pray about. Okay, and I'm also hearing there's a lot of beautiful things coming. Because some people have created a lot. And then for the ones who feeling like, you got that poverty-stricken thing going on or whatever the case may be, ask for your needs to be met. You know what I'm saying? Ask for your needs to be met. Use them unlimited ideas. And so, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And quit looking at them people's hands and hair and you know what I'm saying? It's funny. You guys, y'all be tripping me out. How y'all be you could like literally be loving somebody, and then all of a sudden you might see the freaking feet or hands, and then it's like, oh no, I can't do this. Ain't that crazy? I wonder the Virgos ever grow out of that. I have to ask. But be sure to like, share, subscribe. I love each and every one of you guys. Deuces.